It is a beautiful day. You might start with some layers on, and as we start to move, the inner temperature, the core temperature is going to come up. So you may be able to shed layers, and if that happens, keep them close, because at the end of the practice, when we start to settle down and we stop moving, you're going to cool down quickly. So you may want to throw the shirt back on or use it as a blankie or something like that. Or you may want to have socks close by, not to practice in, but just to wrap your little feet up at the end. So we're going to move to the back of the mat. And open your feet about hip distance apart. And bend your knees and reach your arms forward. Just really slow motion. Take an inhale right there. And then exhale, come on up to standing, let the arms come down. Now the whole time you do that, you got to hold the belly in. Again, inhale, sit back, reach forward, look down. Exhale, come to standing. Just nice and deliberate, right? Let's do 3 more. Sit back, reach forward, gaze down. No straining in the neck. Come to standing, let the arms come down by your sides. We've got 2 more. So you could already feel the heat, yeah? Is it already starting to build? Make sure you're breathing. Here's the last one. Sit back, reach forward. And then come on up. Good. Inhale, reach both arms. Make it feel really good, like a morning stretch. Let's hook our thumbs, spread our fingers. Reach even higher out of the back ribs. So a lot of us are reaching out of the front ribs. I see them poking through your shirt, right? So we want to pull the front ribs down, pull the back ribs up, and maybe draw the tailbone down. And then we're going to move into the side body. So just stretch a little bit to your right. Try not to look at what everyone's doing across from you. It's going to be opposite. Yeah. And then we'll take it over to the other side. Yep. Keep it feeling long. Ground equally into both feet. Reach through both arms. Good. Return to the center. Let's let the arms down. Take a nice deep breath. Reach both arms again. Exhale, forward fold. This time we fold over. Soften the knees. When there's a little chill in the air, sometimes there's a stiffness, and some of us feel it in our bones. I want you to keep the knees soft and round a little bit. Feel the tailbone draw down instead of up. Feel the head draw down instead of up. And then walk both hands over to the right ankle. It's not a far journey. It's a tiny little movement off the center line. So don't go all the way to the side, just toward your ankle so that your hips stay square. So feel the left hip pull back and the right hip hold its place. And then just move through the center and over a little bit to the left side. And just feel how it feels when you come off the center line. It doesn't have to be a big movement to get that lower back to widen. That's it. And then find your center. Let's bend the knees, tuck the tailbone and the chin, and really slowly come on up. Pull the belly in. Tuck the chin, then lift and roll your shoulders back. How are we feeling? Getting better? Inhale, arms reach. Good. Exhale, forward fold. This time we'll look up and lengthen, come to a flat spine, and then walk it out into plank pose. Yeah, the tailbone is going to draw down toward the heels, but don't try to sink your hips. Try to lift the hips. There's a buoyancy. Underneath you, there's like this lifting feeling. And if you push into your toes and you push into your hands, you might feel yourself lift a little more. We want to keep that feeling of pushing the floor away from us, but then bend the elbows and lower down slowly. You can put your knees down if you need some support in that transition. Then inhale into a gentle Cobra Pose. It's small. And then exhale, release. Stay where you are. 2 more times. Inhale, Cobra. Let each one become a little bit more familiar. Exhale, release. Please keep your hips on the ground. Just a gentle bend of the spine, a widening of the chest. Yeah, small. And then release. Go ahead, tuck your toes. Find your way to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. It is our first downward dog of the morning. In the first one, I tend to really like moving my hips, bending my knees, paddling my feet a little bit, just getting a sense of where my body is at. I invite you to do the same. There are plenty of moments in the practice that seem a little bit more rigid or in stillness, but this one's a little more fluid until we start to get breaking through, like until we start breaking through some of that tension and tightness, until we start to liquefy the fascia a little bit. Take one more breath, push back a touch, and then walk your hands back to your feet. We'll go right back where we started. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale and fold. And then bend your knees, come to a flat back, reach your arms forward. Remember that? Yeah, this time we're gonna hold it. Feel a little more weight in your heels, so reach the hips back, the arms forward, but look down. Chest is just over the knees, come down low. Imagine your body is parallel to the ground. So come down even lower. There's a hinge at the hips. The belly is almost on the thighs. Come on down. Oh, you're letting that hamstring. I got you. All right, now hold, but take the arms behind you. As your arms reach back, lift them higher and lift your chest higher and breathe. Now, the feet are going to push down and out. Start to charge the legs just a little bit. And then lift your arms high enough to clasp them together. And just before you get aggravated at me, take a breath. And then forward fold. Let your head down. Yep. Yep, you let your head down. The arms are up and back behind you, stretching through the shoulders. Go ahead and bend your right knee. Stretch the left leg a little straighter. See how that feels. And then switch to the other side. Keeping both feet flat, just kind of, again, just kneading through some of the tension. Then let's soften both knees, release the arms. Inhale, flat back, look up. Exhale, fold. With a flat spine, we rise. Inhale, all the way to standing. Head up, chest up, arms reach. And then exhale, pull that right to heart center. All right, inhale, arms up again. Exhale, forward fold. Dive right in. As we inhale, we look forward, lengthen, and then walk it out into plank pose. We'll only take one breath here. Inhale, and then exhale as you lower. Inhale into Cobra one time, and then exhale right back into downward facing dog. All right, I think we're ready for our first lunge. Right foot's gonna step up. Please stay on your left toes. We'll rise into high crescent lunge, facing forward, chest plate forward. Yeah, so that coming up and coming down all needs to be done with a little bit of support and integration. You can feel the lower belly draw up and in. That happens in almost all of the poses. And as the belly draws up and in, it might even pull the hip points up and the pubis bone up, and then the tailbone naturally will draw down. And all of that affects the psoas, which is the sensation you feel in the front of your left hip. Yeah, so just pay attention. Let's see if we can go in just a little bit lower and then start bending your left knee. Get high on the toes so the knee comes a little forward and try not to put it down. Feel the tailbone scoop down now just a little bit more so we wake up that sensation in the front of the left thigh. That's it. And then straighten the back leg again. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale gracefully. Slowly put your hands on the mat. Nice. Step into plank hold. Let's all breathe in together. And then exhale, lower slowly. In the rhythm of the breath, we move. Inhale, Cobra. And then exhale as you go back to down dog. Please remember, in all of those longer holds, like the lunge we're about to do, the breath stays consistently moving. Left foot steps up, stay on your right toes. High crescent lunge. Slow and steady today. Slow and steady is so great when the air is a little bit chilled, because when you move a little slower, you create more heat from the inside. Pay attention to the core work, not the outer form. That's it. Now we're going to try to square off just a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. There is nothing perfect about yoga. It's all about presence. And so you feel your body. You feel what you're doing. You notice those little nuances. but it's more about what's happening inside, not the outer form. Let's get a little higher on the back toes. Bend into the right knee. Start to feel the tailbone draw down. As you do, you might feel more sensation in the front of that right leg. I watch your faces change, so I know that's happening. That's it. Now, as you do that, can you lift the chest? Yes. As you lengthen the torso, you feel it even more because it's attached. Right? That psoas is so important. It's lengthening down and up. Let's take one more breath. And then straighten the back leg and come to plank. Yep, you got it. I don't know what's happening. Maybe the wire is tangled a little bit. All right, inhale through your Cobra Pose. Exhale into down dog. Yep, no, it's perfect. All right, take one more breath. And then look forward. As you exhale, walk your feet to the top of the mat. This time, bring the feet together, please. Lift halfway, inhale, and then fold on the exhale. We're going to bend our knees into chair pose, Utkatasana. Keep the soles of the feet flat. Reach your arms up. Find your breath. I want you to take a really big inhale here with your arms reaching, and then exhale, just pull the hands to heart center. Good. Stay in your chair, but inhale, reach your arms back up. Yeah, we're going to do that a couple times. Exhale, pull it right into heart center. Inhale, the arms reach. Exhale, pull it into the heart. Last one. Inhale, arms reach, sit a little bit lower, and then come to standing. Yes. Stretch back a little if it feels good. If not, don't. And then hands to heart center. All right. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Let's go to plank and lower on the exhalation. Both feet back, we lower down slow. Inhale for Cobra Pose. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Coming into your first warrior one. Right foot steps up, left foot turns flat. Which one's music? I want a little volume on the music. Yeah, it's picking it up just a little bit. Left foot is flat. Now the challenge is to keep the back foot grounded, but see if you can get the torso to turn forward. You're going to meet a challenge where that psoas is. It's the same place. Play with the arrangement of your bones. Try to get the hip bones to point a little bit forward. Tailbone down slightly, pubis bone up slightly. There's these micro movements that might actually make the bones fit better and make the muscles a little happier. I like it. Now, chest plate forward. Give me a little more enthusiasm in your arms. And even in your fingers. Now, tip your ears back. Go ahead, look up at your hands. Let's take one more breath. And then just simply flow. Hands down. Step back lightly. Lower, nice and slow. Inhale for Cobra. And then exhale, down dog. Let's take a few breaths, and then we'll make our way into Warrior One on the other side. I see lots of new faces today. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm sure that there's some family members here. Guests. It's so nice to see new faces. So step your left foot up, your right foot flat. Let's rise up and just play the game, right? Just like sort of those little micro movements. This is your yoga practice. You know, it's about sort of finding your way through your own body. Don't ever be mistaken into thinking that your yoga practice is following the orders of the teacher. Just the whole thought of that makes me cringe. I want you to really discover the magic for yourself. So my cues are optional. They're opportunities. We ground the feet. We turn into the body. We start to feel. Maybe we can express more deeply. The chest lifts. The arms lift. The arms express. The fingers reach. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and flow. Hands down, step back, and lower. Take a deep breath in, Cobra Pose, and then exhale right back to downward facing dog. All right. Right foot steps up, left foot turns flat again. Rise up for one breath in Warrior One. Now, I want you to think about that side waist long and keep the biceps near the ears. And we're going to come into about a 45-degree angle. So we're just going to fold the body the same line as the leg. Keep reaching through your arms. Yeah, those halfway points are so poignant. Pull the front ribs in. Make sure you're using your core. Some of us have our booty sticking out, our belly sticking out, and our ribs sticking out. We want to pull that together and then lift the arms, biceps near the ears. Yes. Now right here, you might be able to pull right hip back, left hip forward, just the tiniest bit, a little square. Good. Now take the arms behind you. Lift them higher than your back and clasp them together. Take a deep breath in and then humbly bow your head. Ah, thank goodness, right? Bow your head, maybe look to the left foot, humble warrior. Reconnect with your breathing. And there is this energy that happens if we push down, it helps us rise up. So we're going to root into the feet, start to lift the head and come on up. Good. Take a breath, reach your arms, and then exhale, take your flow. Hands down, step back, and lower. Good. I like how you're moving. That vinyasa is starting to become familiar. Everyone's finding their own rhythm. We meet in downward facing dog, and then come to warrior one on the other side. Left foot steps, right foot flat. Feel it. Yoga is so much more about what we're feeling than what we're doing. And I think sometimes our culture mixes that up. We think it's about what we do, and we forget about how we feel. We don't even sort of give any of our energy to that. So let's switch our mindset today. Do you feel the soles of your feet on the ground? Are you articulating the bone structures? Are you making space and steadiness? How is your breath? Can you turn the chest plate forward? Biceps are going to stay near the ears, and then we're going to fold about 45 degrees. So try to follow the line of your leg with your torso. You're on the diagonal. And I know it's not so easy here because sometimes yoga is about strength. So pull the front ribs in, pull the tailbone in slightly, feel the integration. There's even a squeeze on your outer hips. Both feet still holding the ground. Let's take one more breath, and then take the arms back, lift them a little higher than your back, clasp them together, and then exhale, fold. Head down. Humble warrior. We look toward the back foot. Maybe we use this opportunity to square off the hips a little bit because we can. That would mean left hip back, right hip forward a little. And then remember that we push down to rise up. Ground through both feet. Use your core. Let's rise up. Inhale. And then exhale, take your flow. Hands down. Step back lightly, lower, nice and slow. Good. Inhale for Cobra. And then exhale. Downward facing dog. It's okay. Yeah, I don't think we need anything. It was just, I got behind the tree. All right, give me one good deep breath in. Let's all make a sound on the exhalation, like a little ah. All right, right foot steps up, stay on your left toes. High crescent lunge just for one breath. It's your transition to coming up. And then please turn open to the left, pivot the left foot flat for warrior two. Good, the arms open wide. Now, there's a whole new agreement you have to make with your body here. We changed the rotation of the hips. So we want to ground both feet equally. Some of you are really heavy in your front leg and not using the back one so much. So see if you can even that out. And then pull up a little from the pelvic floor so your spine gets a little more support. And maybe as the tailbone draws down, you can encourage your right knee open. There's a relationship there of how much you can do each thing. So you got to find it. We're not all built the same. And then please take your right forearm onto your right thigh. Take the left bicep to the ear. See if your arm can follow the same line as your torso. Now some of you are smart. You took that leaning into the right arm as a rest. I want you to push into your elbow so that your spine lengthens and the chest broadens. Because in a moment we're going to take the weight off that arm and you need to be able to hold your own. Now, As we contemplate taking the weight off the right elbow, I want you to think about reaching in front of you by your chest, not out under your ear. So no, out in front of the chest. Yes, reach forward. There's a twist here. Pull that right shoulder under, lengthen through the left waist. If it feels like too much, put your elbow back on your leg. Give me one more breath, and then gently put the elbow back. Reach the left arm up. Stay there, take a breath. Make sure you integrate again. Find the balance in your pelvis, and then rise back up to warrior two. Woo! Left arm down, right arm up, reverse your warrior. It should feel super good. Stretch through the side waist. Now even here, let's bend into that right knee just a little deeper. Don't be afraid to come down in there. Reach and straighten that arm, like you're reaching to touch the sky. And now the left arm is going to reach out parallel to the earth beneath you. So this time we go straight back. Hold the same line as your own body. I want you to stay in that plane and just really open up through the side body. Strong. Supported.
State of mind.
Breathing. Return to warrior two. Say it. Yes. Let's straighten the front leg and then go to triangle pose. Trikonasana. Just keep it simple. This pose is one that really takes time to evolve. The tissues that are in the side body are not used in most of our normal everyday movement, so just be patient. That right hand is reaching down the shin. Doesn't have to touch the floor. See if you can draw the tailbone down and get the chest and the tail and the head in the same plane. Left arm is straight up to the sky. Let's see if we could open the chest a little more, and that might mean coming up. It might mean that you don't reach for the floor, but instead you put your hand on your shin and you straighten your right leg and you tone up those muscles for support. Yeah, I like that better. Now, left arm's going to wrap around behind your back. You can push your arm into your back, or you can wrap around into your waist, whatever works for you, but use that to open the chest a little bit more. Now, really strong. This is an option. We're going to take the weight off of the right hand, and again, reach out in front of you, like in front of your own chest. There's a little twist here. Pull that right shoulder under, open the left chest back, take your head back 1 inch. I love it. Take one more breath. Don't hate the teacher. Put your hand back down. Left arm goes up. We're going to soften that front knee and come on up. Just say it. One big inhale. You're smiling. That's a good sign. Exhale, let it go. Hands down to the floor. Step back into plank pose. Lower down, nice and slow. Inhale, cobra. Back to what we know. Downward facing dog. All right. So attitude adjustment moment, right? That's behind us. We learned a lot. Maybe we tried things that didn't feel so good. Let's make sure we don't do those again, right? Sometimes our enthusiasm gets ahead of our ability, right? So let's just see if we can meet ourselves where we are, and we'll try the other side. Left foot steps up. Stay on your right toes. We're coming to high crescent to make our transition. And then turning open to the right, warrior two. Back foot turns flat. You have a moment here to sort of reassess. Is the weight even on both feet? Can we open the chest wide? I see some of you take a lot of pride in your work because you really look magnificent here. Let's see if we can soften the outer body and work a little bit more internally, right? Change the focus. Not how do I look today? How does this feel? Yeah. Now, left forearm onto the left thigh. Right bicep goes over the ear. Try to follow the same line as your body. Now, before we do anything crazy, we have to integrate, right? If we weren't already, it feels almost like the feet want to push the mat out, but the legs draw in. There's this push-pull that's happening. The tailbone is down slightly. Some of us have booty out. That could be dangerous when we start to use the core. So integrate. Front ribs in, tailbone in neutral. Good. Stay where you are, but lift that arm straight back up. And then that left elbow comes off the thigh. We create that little twist. holding your own, but not holding your breath. Breath is steady and moving. It's necessary. Now forearm goes back onto the knee. Rise back up to warrior two. So nice. Let's reverse the warrior just to get up and out of that left waist. Stretch the obliques, stretch through the side body. Take your gaze up. Now with all that upward reaching energy, can you bend into the front knee to come down a little? We can take the right arm out parallel to the ground. Stretch out, just reach straight out behind you. That's it. Open the chest. As all that energy goes up, bend the front knee a little deeper. Find the balance. When you find it, the pose is steady and effortless. So I'm not encouraging you to go deeper. I'm encouraging you to find the place that works. Let's come back to warrior two. Just say it. Straighten your front knee. How did that feel? Right? No sounds today? Yeah, you guys are shy? That's not like you. Straighten that left leg. Let's go to Trikonasana, triangle pose. Left arm down, right arm up. Keep it simple. Start simple. I know we have variations coming, but we don't want to really just blow it all right at the beginning. We got to just really save some of our energy. We want to build foundation. Then we can take ourselves into deeper and fuller expression. So as the side body starts to really open up, maybe the left hand slides a little deeper. Yeah. The right arm can wrap around behind your back. Keep the chest open. That's the idea, is pull the shoulder back, lengthen your spine. Maybe the tailbone is drawing down instead of sometimes the booty wants to stick out because the left inner thigh is tight. So just catch yourself. Find that little micro movement that maintains balance. And then we're going to do that little twist again. Left arm reaches right out under your chest. Both legs are straight here. Chest is open. You could even turn your gaze up. Make the spine feel even longer. Just because you can. And then the hand goes back down. The right arm rises. And we return. Warrior two. Come on up. Change your attitude right here because it's over. Right? Some of you can be so happy because it happened, and some of you are really happy because it's over. Relax your shoulders out of your ears. Take one more breath, and then flow on your exhale. Both hands down. Step back lightly, lower slowly. Inhale for Cobra Pose, and then exhale, downward facing dog. In down dog, just find your breath. Find a moment of compassion for yourself. A moment of presence. Go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet. We've been playing with this a little bit. Bend your knees, chair pose. We're going to keep the feet wide, about hip distance apart. You can open up to what you would consider the width of your own hip bones. And then pull your hands right into heart center. Sit the hips back a little bit more, and then right elbow inside right knee. Think about that. Right elbow inside right knee. Yeah, I know, it took a little bit. Right elbow inside right knee. Usually by the third time I say it, we get it. Good. Now sit back a little bit, press into your palms. All right. Left arm is going to go to the sky. Right arm is going to reach down to the inner right ankle. See if you can get a little length there. Don't be afraid to drop the hips a little and lift the heart a little. So good, everybody. Now hold there, but straighten your left leg. Expansion. Put a little smile on your face, draw your head back a little. Let's take one more breath. And then exhale, soften your knees, bring your hands back in, forward fold. Ooh-wee. You guys okay? Yeah? I think that one was a gift, right? You guys are a little happier about that one. All right, we're going to bend the knees. It's that chair pose with the feet a little wide. And because they're wide, you have to really focus on using both feet equally, both legs, both hips. As you sit the hips back, the chest and arms reach forward. Then keep that positioning and then pull the hands to heart. Take the left elbow inside the left knee. Work on the twist. Notice if the tailbone sticks out, the sensations in your lower back change. If the tailbone draws down, it changes. All of us are built a little bit differently in our bone structure. You've got to find just the right place for you. Let's exalt the arms. Left arm down, right arm up. Keep breathing so that this pose is sustainable. Right leg starts to straighten. Breath is steady. Express this the way it feels in your body today. Do you need more? Do you need less? Let's draw the head back just for one more breath. And then bring it in. Soften your knees, arms down, let your head go. Nicely done, everyone. Go ahead, tuck your chin and your tailbone. Let's pull the belly in intentionally and squeeze the hamstrings as we come up. Even narrow the sit bones. Feel the bone structures tighten. Then lift and roll your shoulders back. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen. Let's look forward. And then walk it out into your plank pose. Good. Hold plank. Stay in that upper push-up. But then lift your right toes off the floor and just work on pulling right knee to right elbow. Try not to let your head drop. Sometimes we look down at what we're doing, but instead I want you to look forward. Keep your spine long. There's a really strong place in the right side of your body at the crease of your hip. Pull it up. Try to get your right foot away from the floor as much as possible, and then step it back to plank and go to down dog. Find your breath in case you lost it. Let your head down. This is a recovery moment. So think about what you might have learned from that first side. Experience is everything. That's where wisdom comes from, right? If something wasn't working, let's not do it again. Let's try to take the second side with that little bit of wisdom and experience. Come forward. Work in the space of how it feels, not what you're doing. Lift your left toes and then pull left knee to left arm. Keep looking forward. Where are you strong? What muscle are you forgetting to use? Can you pick up your left foot a little higher from the floor? Are you making a face? Is that working for you? Let's put a smile on our face instead, and then step back and take down dog. Yeah. Yoga's not supposed to make us have misery faces, right? When you watch the videos of the ancient yogis doing their work, or even the modern day yogis, like they're doing all these crazy things with their bodies, but their faces are calm and steady. At least at the moment they took the Instagram photo, right? Yeah. All of our work is supposed to be steady and effortless. So if you are struggling, it means you're probably working too hard. Let's walk our hands back to our feet. Bend your knees. Roll yourself up nice and slow. Integrate your spine. Take care of yourself until it's really tall. Your head up high. Roll your shoulders back. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Hands come to heart center. Let's sit back. Let's keep our hands at heart center. Put a little extra weight in the right foot. Lift your left knee. Same muscle. Psoas. Yep. Squeeze the knee toward the chest. As you lift your left one higher, sink lower into your right one. Oh, so good. Keep the head and chest up. I'm getting much nicer faces on this one than I ever thought I would. Go ahead, put your left foot down. Let's come to standing. Good. Inhale, reach your arms. Just make it feel good. Exhale, forward fold. Anybody cold anymore? No? Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold deeply. And then find that chair again with your feet hip distance apart. Use your feet well. Use them equally. Same amount of weight in your toes and your heels, and left to right. And then we're going to shift weight into the left and lift the right one. Right? We're going to see if we can sit low and lift high. There's a push-pull going on. There's a balance in your work. Squeezing the midline's not going to help you. Stay in your alignment with your hips. Keep your gaze forward. Take one more breath, and then put your foot down, let it go. Come to standing, all the way up. Maybe take a little back bend. It might feel good. And then hands come to heart center. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. We're gonna walk it out into plank. Don't worry, you don't have to pull your knee to your belly. Just lower down nice and slow onto the belly. We're gonna take Cobra Pose, but we're gonna hold it for 3 breaths. As you come into Cobra, just really feel the spine lengthening up, the pubis bone rooting down, and the legs reaching back behind you. Create some length. So good. Be careful you're not cranking the back of your neck. We're just like trying to lengthen the front body for a couple breaths. Legs stay on the floor. Yeah, put your legs down so you're not squeezing your glutes so hard. That's it. And then release your chest and go to downward facing dog. Okay, one more breath here. Just a big clearing breath. Inhale, and then together make that sound, that sigh, that sound, that moan or groan. And then look at your hands. Let's just walk our feet to the top of the mat. I'm going to do a little time check. Good timing. All right, feet are together. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale and fold. Bend your knees, please. Chair pose. Both arms reach. Feels different with feet together. Hands come to heart center. We're going to twist right elbow outside the left knee. Now we cross the midline. Going a little bit further. See if you can keep the pelvis organized, right? Keep the right hip back, the left hip forward, and the sacrum somewhat flat. Yeah, we don't have to exalt here. We're going to actually use the hands pressing together to feel some sense of synergy and balance in the pose. And then you're going to feel a little bit of extra weight in your left foot, and I want you to lift your right foot off the mat. Bring your heel towards your bottom. It's called flamingo on the feet, right? Imagine you balancing on one leg. There it is. You got it. Lift your foot as high as you can off the floor. Use your hamstring. Nicely done, everyone. If you're feeling crazy, you could extend that leg back behind you. Right leg could go back. Most likely you're going to fall out of it, but it's okay. Maybe not. Pull the knees back together, and then put your foot back down. Good. Coming up to standing slowly, carefully. Reach your arms up. Draw the tailbone down and just reach up through your ribs. And then hands come to heart center. Good. We're going to try the other side. Go ahead. Sit back in chair pose. Feet are together. We got to find the balance, right? It's what are we feeling? How are we paying attention to those little micro movements? Don't worry about the outer form. Hands to heart. We're going to twist over to the other side. Left elbow outside the right knee. And even that, crossing the midline sometimes messes up everything. Sometimes the left knee juts forward and the hips get off center. It's going to be really hard to balance if that's happening. So let's not exalt here. Let's bend those elbows, put the palms together. Feel that. Yeah, that feels like the center line of your body. Chest moving towards thumbs, thumbs moving toward chest. Feel that. And then a little extra weight into the right leg. Let's see if we can lift the left foot. Squeeze the hamstring. You could look down. It might make balance better. It's nothing that we haven't already done in this practice. If you're just feeling it right there and you hold it and you're feeling good about it, stay. If you want to explore extending left leg back, try. The worst that'll happen is you'll have to put your foot down. It won't be the end of the world. It won't ruin your whole day. You can take credit for trying. And then knees come back together, feet go back on the ground. Let's come on up slowly. Just straighten up, reach up, tailbone down, side waist long, neutralize. Good. Hands come to heart. All right, Vinyasa time. Inhale, reach both arms. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Go to plank pose and lower on the exhalation. Move through your body, your breath, your way. I love what I see. Find your way back to down dog. Think of it as coming home. Yep. Steady. Spread your fingers, lift your hips, push back your legs. Let's take one more breath here. And then come forward, high on the toes, shoulders rest over the wrists. And then bend your knees and gently put them down onto the floor for tabletop. Nice. That's not really where I wanted to go. Go down onto your belly. Yeah, go to the belly. Uh-oh, now you guys are worried. That would have been a diversion. It would have been a gift, but it would have been a diversion. Let's put the forearms down on the mat and line up the elbows under the shoulders. So you have to move your hands forward. They're Sphinx arms, if you know what Sphinx pose is. Yeah, elbows are right under the shoulders. Try to get that width right. And then push into the forearms, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and then start lifting your hips, belly, ribs, all of the center. There's your core again. Half plank. Yep, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You can hold yourself up. Come up a little bit higher. Imagine that your heels and your shoulders are what creates the height of this pose. So the middle has to meet. Yeah. We don't want anything sagging in the middle. We don't want heads up high. There's a long, beautiful line of integration. Forearms squeezing toward each other. Imagine you could spread the mat with your feet. Now pull your toes toward your elbows. I know it's starting to cook and you're starting to get mad at me, but just hold for one more breath. And then with the exhale, put it down gently. Yeah. Good. Now stay on the forearms, lift your head, let your hips rest. And if it feels good, you could even push into your hands and lift the elbows a little bit. Take a tiny bit more back bend. Stretch. This is not about strengthening your back this time. It's about lengthening your front. Yep. And then really gently let your spine spill back down onto the floor. All right, coming into your half plank again. Tuck your toes, line up the elbows under the shoulders. Every time the pattern gets a little more familiar in the body, it's easier to hold it. So we repeat. Start to create all of those integrations now. Elbows squeeze toward each other, feet try to spread the mat, toes come toward elbows, elbows toward toes. Feel that? Yes, I saw it pop up. Now hold the integrity of your right leg, but lift your right toes off the floor. Don't let that side get heavy. Make it strong. And then put your toes down, switch to the other side. Don't hold your breath here. Amazing. Put your toes down and then lay yourself down. Let the hips melt into the floor. Lift your head and chest. Breathe. You can stay in Sphinx pose. Have a sense of humor. Like really, what just happened to you right there? What was that face? What was that inner dialogue? Was it directed at me or was it directed at you? Check it. It's interesting, right? And then we got one more. Third time's the charm, they say, right? I know at the end you're still gonna love me. Go ahead, third time. Now you can keep it simple or you can add variations, right? If you're just working on getting enough strength to hold this, then just stay with it. Feel the integrations. If you feel like you've got all this and you want to add something, we're going to pick up the right toes again. But this time, bend the right knee 90 degrees and push your heel to the ceiling. Ooh, try that. That's not for everybody. And then straighten the leg, put your toes back down, left side. Lift the foot, bend the knee, push the heel to the sky. Ooh, you feel that? And then straighten the leg, put your toes back down, and let it go. Yes. Now, instead of a back bend on this one, we're going to go to child's pose. So push into your hands. Carefully lift your belly from the floor. Yes, carefully. And then fold your hips and take yourself into really deep flexion in the hips. As your hips fold, draw the tailbone down a little bit and push into your hands to broaden your lower back. I know that a lot of us have sensitivity there, so I want to make sure that we undo and find balance. Let your head rest for a moment and get quiet. Okay. So quiet that all you have is your breath. Try to use your breath to help you quiet your thoughts. Let's humbly keep our heads on the floor and just feel the heartbeat settle down. Now with that really beautiful sense of integration, We're going to start to walk the hands toward the knees, tuck the tailbone and the chin, and come up with that rounded spine, strong in the core. And then please come up and stand on your knees, on your shins. Point the toes back and press the tops of the feet down, stretching through the ankles. Press all 10 of your toes, even the pinky toes down behind you. And then draw your tailbone down and lift your chest up. No back bend here. So instead of going back like this, that would be a back bend. We're going to go back 45 degrees, like just a straight spine. You're going to feel a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Let your spine follow the same line, so the head will be slightly behind you. That's it. You probably already feel it. Start to extend your arms forward to find the balance. Arms reach in front so you can lean back just a touch more. Use the top of your shins, your feet, your ankles. Softly breathing through the nose. Don't hold the breath here. So good, everyone. Be aware of that back bend. It wants to happen. The hips want to jut forward. Keep neutral. All right. If you're feeling okay there and you want to take it a little bit more, open the arms like a T. Now it could get shaky and ugly. Are you up for it? Yeah? It might already be happening. So how do we respond to that? Do we say, wow, this is an opportunity for me to just go past the threshold and get a little stronger? Or we can be defeated and we can bail right out of it, right? Let's turn the palms up, reach the biceps to the ears. Only if it's hurting your back do you come out. But if it's just getting shaky and ugly and it's making you a little bit uncomfortable, you think your neighbor might see you shaking, like just get over that. Tailbone down. Don't stick the booty out. It's the bypass. That's it. Arms come back out to the sides. And then one more breath. Reach forward. Just hold it, feel it. Just know that you're in it. Shoulders back, chest lifts. And then softly sit back onto your heels. Fold right back into your child's pose. One breath. As you exhale, go ahead and lay yourself all the way out onto your belly. Yep, just crawl out onto the mat. Bend your knees so your feet are in the air and rock your legs from side to side. Feel how the pelvis rocks with your legs. Turn your head to one side, let the upper body rest. Let your belly breathe into the floor. Yep. You seem to like that. All right, find center. Let's let the feet go. And the easiest transition from here is to just flip over. Yep, just turn over. Leave your feet at the same end of the mat so you don't turn your whole self around. You just turn over. Heads toward the center of the park, feet toward the outside of the park. Yep. Soften for a moment. Do a little assessment. Does any one of your bones need a little bit of adjustment? My guess would mean that we could use a little bit of adjustment in the pelvis. So maybe right knee to belly, give yourself a little squeeze. As the right one pulls in, extend the left one out a little longer. Press your back down, it might feel good. And then gently switch. A little push, a little pull, a little expansion. Self-care. Honest moment. And then pull both knees in, that might do the trick. Some of us can pull the knees right into the chest. Some of us like it better out toward the armpit. So you got to feel both and decide where you need to be today. Wide or narrow or leaning to one side or rocking side to side. Your moment. Let's go ahead and place our feet back onto the mat. Extend both legs straight out toward the corners of your mat. Take your arms up over your head. So we want to be open at least as wide as the mat here. Open the feet, open the arms, like you feel like a big letter X. You're taking up some space. Then cross your right ankle over your left ankle, which means right comes all the way over to meet the left. They don't meet in the middle. That was smart. Now, if crossing the ankles feels like too much, they can go side by side, but keep them to that left side of the mat. And then drop your left arm down by your side and keep reaching your fingers down toward your leg until you can wiggle your spine a little bit over to the left. Let the right arm reach. Yeah. We're not going to stay too long, so if you want to get a little more out of this, you can really soften. If softening feels too far in for you, reach the right arm and push the right heel and expand the pose that way. Know both ways you're going to change where you were. Deep relaxation and softness or expansion and stretch both change the pose. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, let's release. Bring the right arm down, uncross your ankles, find neutral. Take a few breaths so your body can settle. And let's move to the other side. Left ankle comes to meet the right, either side by side or one on top of the other. We'll drop the right arm down, reaching for the leg, and then just keep stretching through the left side, bicep to the ear. And even though we're still moving, you can already start to feel how the body temperature is dropping just a little bit. So you can soften, just really melt, or you can push the left heel and reach the left arm, creating just a little bit more space. Take one more breath. And then we'll release that, find center. Both arms down, both legs a little bit wide. So we uncross those legs, maybe pull both knees into the belly. Every time we change the angle of the pelvis, we feel something different. So just get to know. Flexion, extension, internal, external rotation, abduction, adduction, all of these movements, they feel different in the lower spine, in the hips. Just feel. Let's come to Supta Baddha Konasana, which means the soles of the feet will come together and the knees will drop apart. You can take both arms up over your head. The feet belong on the mat and the knees drop open wide so you're not working so hard to hold them in the air. And this is the first time in the whole practice that I'm going to ask everyone to really truly let go. Can you soften? Can we let the shape of the pose do the work and no longer be effortful? Start to notice the stillness of the mat beneath you and see if you can match the energy. The only subtle movement that you would feel would be your breath. Now one more time, we're going to bring those knees back up to center, bring the arms down, and then draw the knees to the belly and give yourself a hug. Let's take both knees and both legs, feet, all of it over to the right side. the beginnings of a spinal twist. We turn the chest open, reach out, and look to the left. Let the chest open wide. Turn your head and look to the left. Yeah. Can you give up the effort? Some of us, that's really hard. It could be harder than doing any pose. So just know that that's work too. Let's bring it back to center, nice and slow. Head and knees return to the middle. You can hug in or not. Do what feels good in the middle and then make your way over to the other side. And if there's a special variation of the twist that feels good to you, you can do it. The one thing I will caution you about is if your knees fell not just to the floor but out and away from you, you might want to pull the knees back up. Yeah, if your knees are kind of pointing away from you, then you've lost your ability to turn your hips and you are creating a little bit of back bend. Up here, yeah. Yeah, I just want to take care of you. You're welcome. And know that there's never something wrong. If the pose that you're doing feels really right and good in your body, you know better than I do. Everything I offer up is a suggestion. Sometimes I see the angles and I feel like there could be a risk that something could pinch or be overstretched. Let's take one more breath here. Maybe let out that little sigh. Make it a little softer, like a whisper out of your lips. And then come back to center. This time you get to let it all go. Lay your legs out, lay your arms out. Become one with your mat. Become one with this moment. Become one with your breath. Allow the breath to soften and become a little more still, just like the mat. I love that moment when we realize we are in stillness and we can feel the vibration of the world moving around us. And yet there's something in us that allows us to stay. It would be so easy to get pulled away into the energy of life around us, and it happens all day long. Right now, know that you are building your resiliency to choose for yourself, to not be at the mercy of what's happening around you, to choose to step into it fully when you want to, and to hold your own when you need to. One breath at a time, we begin our awakening. Awaken respectfully, gently. The breath starts, the thoughts start, the movement starts. See if you can maintain some level of conscious awareness around all of that. And eventually you gather yourself up. You come to a seated position. If you're not ready, don't jump up because I said so. Just honor yourself. I know eventually everyone will get up and everyone will exit the park. But it's a beautiful day. If you want to stay a little longer and linger in it, just do it. I will officially close the practice with the beautiful and sacred sound of Om. You can listen to it on your back. You don't have to get up. You can hum it inside and feel the vibration, or you can join me in spreading a little bit of this energy out into our community today. So we'll bring our hands together at heart center and take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Hi. Om Peace, Peace, Perfect Peace. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May the actions of my life and all of our lives somehow contribute to that happiness and that freedom. May we all know that peace. May we all somehow really in our actions contribute to that peace for all. May we know love bigger than we ever imagined and express love bigger than we ever thought possible. May we every day step off the mat and be an example of our yoga and make the interactions of our lives just a little bit brighter. May we know the truth, and may we honor that with everything that we are. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for showing up and being a part of this vibrant and beautiful community. I wish you the most beautiful Saturday. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy this beautiful weather. If anyone has a few moments to help put the tables back at the end of practice, we always appreciate if everyone grabbed one chair. That'd be done in like 2 minutes. Registration is open for something big. January 1st in Meisner Park, we have an amazing team of volunteers. We have an incredible group of sponsors and vendors that will be out there for the marketplace. There's already a couple hundred, maybe almost 300 people registered, and we usually don't really start rolling registration till December. So get your name on the list. We will be spaced comfortably. It will be outside, and we are going to be checking. You have the choice of either showing a vaccination card or a negative test, so that once you're inside, you can feel really comfortable that you're safe. Masks, of course, will be optional. Whatever you feel is right for you, you do it. But we want the space to feel safe and open for the community to come and enjoy and start the year doing yoga. So join us on January 1st. No judgments about vaccines. If you have one, show it. If you don't, get a test or whatever, you know. But you can't come in without it. That's the key. So you make your own choices, and we will literally be turning away at the gate. We have no choice. So yeah. So that's my story. New studios coming along. We should be in the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Next Saturday, before you guys get too far away, listen up. Next Saturday, December 4th, there is no yoga in the park. The city has some event going on, and we will not be here together, so I'm going to LA. I'm going to spend some time with my teacher. to feel inspired as I come back into the new year and process all that's been going on this past year. So I wish you all a really happy Saturday next week. There will be classes in the park. I mean, not in the park, in the studio. We're running a full schedule in studio until we're ready to move. So like we'll have all of our classes on a Sunday, and then once the last class is over, we'll move the last few things over, and then we'll open in the new studio on Monday. So just keep your eyes on the social media as we get to mid-December. Yeah, and if you've had any experience in the studio that has meant something to you over the past 9 years and you want one last practice, come and see us before we close it. That could be really meaningful. And yeah, I'll see you in 2 weeks unless you show up somewhere else before. Okay, you want my mic?